I appreciate this opportunity, man, to sit with you.
Oh, likewise. I'm looking for. I always love to share. I created this show because I wanted to share stories of people who can shift, who can adapt and adjust at times when they feel stuck, who have overcome some sort of adversity to really create the opportunities and dreams that or life that they want to live in. So having you on the show is beautiful, because especially when you talk about somebody who's excelled at your level. I mean, first of all, I love it. When I read it, and it said 21 years at Starbucks. I'm like, I love that Starbucks story, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. Not just your Starbucks story, but how Howard I always mess his last name up. Schultz.
Yeah, Howard
Schultz
Schultz. Yeah.
took Starbucks and built it. And so then I got somebody who's actually worked in that, who's experienced it and actually risen up out of it to be able to do some great things. I'm like, I love that journey, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was I won't people always use the term fortuitous, right? I'm my faith is important to me. I believe that the road was written. I was
Yeah.
going to take it one way or another, but it was probably the best 21 years that I could have spent anywhere, right? Because you
Right.
got to learn, got to grow, got to experience America, you know, while in the middle of it. But his intent for what he intended to do, um, I think he did a really good job, a
Yeah.
really good job from his initial intentions. Yeah.
That's cool, man. And like I said, you got the experience and just basically were you kind of just, is he kind of a mentor to you? You got to be able to be in the room with him or?
So I spent the best way I can describe Howard, Eric, is you have a few leaders that can make you feel as though you're the only person in the room of 10,000.
Yeah.
He was that type of leader. He was able to stay present with a person, and he didn't necessarily forget who they were either, right? He might not,
Right.
or he was pretty good at the game of acting like he didn't forget.
Got you.
Um, but no, he wasn't a mentor. He was certainly an inspiration, right? Because when I started at Starbucks, it was back in 2003, and
Okay.
my climb was literally from store manager, right, to
Yeah.
Seattle,
Yeah.
and everything that goes along with that. So I got to experience his intention, right,
Okay.
and sometimes another leader's interpretation of that intention, right,
Yeah.
which can be different.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's cool, man. And like I said, you've gone on now, your consultancy firm you're
Yeah.
running now. You've written your book. I like, what was it? 12 or is it 12? I got it on my,
Yeah. Faith at the Intersections, 12 pathways to navigating life with courage, clarity, and in Christ. Yeah, in less than a year, I went from getting a check to hustling for one. You know,
yeah, I got you. I got you.
getting a check to hustling for one, and becoming a published author. Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't say much. A lot of people get to publish now, but it meant a
Yeah.
lot to me for sure.
Faith at the crossroads. I like that, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Faith at the
Always
intersection.
when I hear that or faith at the intersection, I think when I hear something like that, I always think of I can't remember the name of the group, but the song always started off Vainglorious.
Yes. Yes. Oh man, I can see the guy, right?
Yeah.
And with all the African garb, right? And
Yeah.
all, yeah, bro, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about where you from. How'd you get to Harvard and how'd you get on this journey altogether?
So man, I'm from a small town in South Louisiana, called Sunset, Louisiana.
Mm,
If you blink twice, you may miss it, right? And
okay.
I like to say South Louisiana because South Louisiana and North Louisiana are not the same places by culture or
Right.
or anything else. And I grew up there, except for some time that I spent in Houston. My dad is running for his fourth term as the first Black mayor of our
Wow.
town of Sunset, and
I
and,
mean,
and my
that's
mom.
big right there.
Yeah,
First
yeah,
of all,
man.
in a town called Sunset in South.
Right. That part, right? That
Yeah.
part. And
Yeah.
my mom was the principal at the middle school there, which she went to that school when it was a segregated school, right? When it was George Washington Carver. So she
Okay.
was valedictorian at that school and became the principal. So,
Wow.
I share that to say I grew up I grew up at the feet of people that did a lot of service,
Yeah.
a lot of intentional work. I remember my dad lost his first race in 1979,
Uh-huh.
and the FBI showing up at our house, right?
Oh,
Because that was the first time you ever had. I think there was probably about 5 or 6 Black people that ran for different offices.
okay.
It was their entire cohort of friends, almost everybody that had graduated, and that they had gotten master's degrees and or were working offshore, so that they were moving into the burgeoning middle class, right?
Okay.
Late 70s, very early 80s, and all very, very clear-eyed about what the town that they grew up in needed, since we were all on one side of the tracks,
Yeah.
right? And
Wow.
and in that first election was incredibly contentious, as I
I can
think
imagine.
my godfather won the election for his district. My dad lost his, a couple other people won, but yeah. So when I see what's happening now, Eric, uh, you know, um, uh, um, it's more the same.
Yeah.
You
Isn't it
know,
interesting how we've traveled this far, but we're still in the same spot in some cases, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So grew up watching my folks have a lifetime of service. Um, Finally pulled myself out of college, right? I get to college and realize I have some learning difficulties, and have some difficulty staying away from the bar too. So there's a
Yeah.
combination of those things that took place for a few years.
Right.
Get my degree, moved to Houston, where I finally started working for Starbucks in 2003, and then get promoted and have the opportunity to move back home in 2006, which was right after Katrina. So
Okay.
it was an
Oh,
opportunity for me to move back to Louisiana, right? Which I couldn't ask for anything better. Get
right.
a promotion. I get this territory, and I'm literally from there. I can trace my ancestry back to there, and it's like,
Wow.
hey, we need to rebuild here.
Yeah.
And that was the journey of learning and of more service, and of the intentional work of um, growing a brand in a place that believed in local,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Okay.
having to tell them, hey, we ain't flying nobody in from Seattle, man. Everybody that's working in these stores are very much local to these communities, right? These tax dollars are staying here, all that stuff. But I cover Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and
Wow.
Arkansas, selling Starbucks coffee. So if you look at it on my face, right,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
how is he gonna sell
Right.
sell
Starbucks.
anything, in those places, right?
Right.
But
Yeah. Wow.
it was the belief that, I believed in what I was doing, and what we had, and I grew up with parents, like most Black people, that they teach you these are the rules,
Yeah.
and you can always be the exception.
Right.
There ain't no excuses. Go get
Exactly.
it, right? Yeah,
There we go.
go
I
get
like
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, go get
Hey,
it.
you
So
could be the one.
you could be the one.
Yeah.
And you should, right? Every intention should be for you to, to be the one. And so I worked my way up into, 2 or 3 different roles. I had a whole bunch of wins, right, in business development throughout the Southeast, but all the while doing service work,
Yeah.
doing a lot of service work, man. I believed in it. And one of my gifts is, one is a belief, right? If I go through the Gallup, Strength Finder stuff,
Okay.
and the other is being a relator, right? And being able to put things together and see how they measure up to the big picture. That was just like putting puzzles together.
Right.
So I was always able to tie the community work to the to the goals of the enterprise,
Okay.
right? So I started working in New Orleans, with some nonprofits, and I was able to do pretty well for those nonprofits, getting them a lot of money from Starbucks. And then when 2020 came around, like everybody else, every other Black person in the spring of 2020, I was frustrated and mad as hell come May.
Yeah.
Right. I I lost a relative a little bit earlier that year to a stroke, and he was younger than I was,
Hmm.
watching all of us die, and at
Yeah.
the time, Eric, New Orleans led the country in COVID deaths.
I
If
didn't
you
know
go
that.
back and think about, yeah, New Orleans was like it was literally a hotbed
Yeah.
for COVID.
Wow.
And I forgot who it was. It might have been Auburn, Ahmaud Arbery, or it could have been somebody that died. And we had our COO was what's her name, Roz Brewer,
Hmm.
and she called everyone. And that was one thing I learned a lot about leadership. She was our COO. She
Okay.
didn't forget who she was,
Right.
and she called the meeting on a Saturday morning to check our temperature to see how we were feeling with
Okay.
all the pressure of what was going on in society, right? And at that time, Starbucks wasn't doing anything. Everybody was home.
Yeah.
So she said, we're not going to sit on our laurels. We're going to get out and we're going to do something. And I'd had a vision of how I could bring people together to serve the community, right? How
Okay.
I could bring together nonprofits, how I could bring together government agencies, how I could bring together our ERGs, right? And hey, we all just do what we're supposed to do.
Right.
We can make a difference. And she provided an opportunity for me to do that. And from that, we built All In. So All
Okay.
In was our community event that looked to serve marginalized communities, but do it in a different way, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to provide food, we wanted to provide health information, we wanted to provide educational stuff, right? The three pillars where we had issues,
Yeah.
but I wanted to do it something a little different. I
Okay.
want to see engage,
Right.
because without true engagement, then there's seldom going to be empowerment. There's seldom going to be change,
Yeah.
right? That is just going to be a transactional moment. So I said, "Now, man, we're going to have music, we're going to have parties, we're going to do the best we can."
The
And
Louisiana way.
the Louisiana way. That's what we do, right? If we're not
Yeah.
dancing and eating, then we're not doing anything. So
Yeah.
on a hot July, in the middle of in the middle of a hot July, we touched over 2,000 lives.
Wow.
And what was cool about that, Eric, was that cars were lined up at 6 o'clock in the morning,
Oh, wow.
blocks for
Okay.
blocks. The thing didn't start till 8 or 9
And
for
they were,
blocks. And
wow.
then they're waiting on food, waiting on school supplies.
Yeah.
So we had that event, man. We did it in New Orleans, and 4 years later, we had touched 145,000 lives
Wow.
across the country in 83 cities, and given back $4.4 million, right? From our community partners back into marginalized communities. But it was all about engaging in real tangible ways so that you can empower people to have agency. Everybody's
Yeah,
got it, but you got to
man.
empower them to get it, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of
That's
that's kind of the work that I did when I was there, and that wasn't my day job.
right. Day job. Look, but I think what is it? You're all about self leadership, and
Yeah.
that's a huge piece. And it sounds like you're. I don't know if you're not a pastor, correct? But
No, no, I'm
you're
not.
definitely strong faith. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Faith is the foundation to everything I do. It's a shame when we get to a point where it's hard to say Christianity because of what they co-opt.
right.
All right, I'm a follower of Christ, and that's just the foundation of what everybody has a foundation. That's mine,
Yeah,
right? And we go, yeah, and I lead from there.
yeah. And I think I like it because we talk about shifting, man. You talk about helping people shift from the inside. And
Yeah,
talk to me a little bit about how you walk how you walk them through that process, and
yeah.
why that's so important.
Well, because I I think we all have a God-given purpose,
Yeah.
right? I believe it. We all have a God-given purpose, and the purpose is for God, is for other people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the things that we experience, the most challenging things in our lives, that we want to solve for, it's often our purpose in solving for other people,
Okay.
right? So I believe that things are inner led and outer activated,
Inner
right?
led
So
and outer activated.
inner led and outer activated.
Okay.
So how do you change your mind frame from all these beliefs, right? Implicit biases and stuff, that you're brought up with, where people tell
Right.
you can't do something, or yourself, Eric, if you're used to hitting home runs,
Right.
right? What
How'd you not
happens
play
when,
baseball?
well,
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
yeah, there might be a machine out there. If you're used to hitting home runs,
Yeah.
used to being cheered for home runs, right?
Yes.
So we get used to living into performance,
Right.
right? And if you have four domains, four domains, Eric. So your energy,
Okay.
right? Your voice, your role, right?
Yeah.
And shucks, what's that doggone uh I went brain dead. It's late in the afternoon, but
That's all right.
yeah, we'll go ahead
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your frequency,
Frequency.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. If one of those are off,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you play multiple roles as a whole, as a podcast host,
Yes.
as a speaker,
Right.
right? As a dad, as
Right.
an uncle, all those things, you
Right.
start leaning into performance,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't spend, it's like, I have to perform. People see me as this. If I'm not having an impact at this, then they're going to look at me a different way. Well, in
Right.
all these performance things, we forget who we are in our own identity,
Yeah.
right? So I help people live into their identity as it's tied to purpose, and not their identity as it's tied to performance, right?
Okay.
So if you look at what's happening in the world today, look, man, the rules are not the same.
No.
The
Changing.
rules they're changing. So when you're dealing with a shifting world, then you have to found your foundation. Your foundation has to be internal. It
Yeah.
can't be what somebody else said. It has to be what you know for a fact,
Right.
right? What you bring to the table, and you got to live into that, because they can pull the chair right out from under you. Just
Oh
just
yeah.
ask the 300,000 Black women that's out there, right?
Man, yeah, yeah, we were talking about that today. I asked a guy about a captain who we knew, and he had left his current duty station. And I
Mhm.
said, "Well, did he get promoted to admiral?" And the first response was, "In this society we're living in today," he said, "You know good and well he wasn't promoted to admiral."
Right,
He said,
right.
"Yeah," he said, "That wasn't gonna happen." He said, "No, he's the wrong color." And that's unfortunate because
Yeah,
no matter what color you are, you bring something to this world, to whatever position you have or role you're in.
yeah. Well, we've been taught to follow the rules, right?
Mhm.
Every high performer, and you've been in the military, if you do these things, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get these small promotions along the way, right? Yeah, there's some
Right.
politics
Put the
involved, but if
checks
you
in
do
the
those,
boxes.
checking the boxes, right? I did
Yeah.
these things, I know where I'm gonna be in 20 years. I'm gonna have a shot.
Yeah.
Well, when you do things and you fall in line to the system, and then the system changes,
Yeah.
then
Oof.
now you gotta figure out, well, was I only leasing that space, or did I own it?
Yeah. I like the quote that I read on you was, you can be interrupted, but you can't be erased.
That's right.
I
Right.
love that, man. That's beautiful, man, because
Yeah,
that's what shifting is all about, right? Because somewhere
yeah.
along the line, something changes. Whether
Something
the
changed.
rules of the game, I think what somebody always says, well, every time we go to score a touchdown, they keep moving the end zone.
Well, that's nothing new to us, but
Right.
we got lulled to sleep.
Yeah.
Eric, our generation hadn't had a fight.
Right.
It's our turn.
Yeah.
Buck up, it's our turn. Everybody else had their turn. Why,
Right.
why did we think we would not? Right. In
Right.
1985, I went to a segregated prom. Why would I not think that it wouldn't be my turn when I
Right.
wasn't really making any big gains or shifts anyway?
Yeah.
If you think about it as a society, as a people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're making some advancements, but not socially the way, in the manner which could have kept this from happening.
Right. I think then that goes to another thing. I like what you asked. Who are you when the role isn't holding the answer? Because I think that's a big one because most people identify themselves with the role that they play at work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's part of the performance thing, right?
Hmm.
So if you play uncle, you play this, you play that, you're going to lean into the role that you like the best,
Yeah.
and often you see yourself in that, but intrinsically, that's not who you are, right?
No.
You've got more depth than that. I would say, Eric, that the you are the people that you've touched and that you plan to touch every day. At the
Mhm.
end of the day, when you're no longer here,
Right.
who's gonna be the person to say, the person that you didn't know, man, that
Mhm.
podcast that I heard,
Yeah.
that speech that I heard, right, that you
Right.
were never privy to, but
Right.
changed the life that you were intended to change. That's
Yeah.
that's 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 the work,
Yeah.
right? That's the
And I always like to go back to Dr. Martin Luther King on Washington, right? He said,
yeah.
and even matter of fact, before we're talking about Memphis, right?
Mhm.
Memphis when he's killed, and so he said that I may not get there with you, but I know we're gonna get to the promised land, and that's the piece that you have to operate in, knowing that the work you do today, you may never see the outcome, you may never see the results, but it's your
Right.
responsibility to get in the process and to make whatever it is you can happen so that somebody can see your work and build off of it or grow from it.
Well, isn't that what empowerment is, right?
Yeah,
That's why you have to empower agency. You know,
yeah,
it took me a while to change my my purpose, right? You know,
uh-huh.
being able to state my purpose was the most important thing that Starbucks did for me. It was like 2018 or something. We're in Chicago and we went through this process of stating purpose.
Okay.
Um, and I loved it, right? Because it's like, oh, we learn how to meditate and we're going to do this. Well, some people took it and went too far, right? Because that whole
Right.
process, like, it's everything that's in you. Well, some leaders took it and they looked at it. Well, if you got a problem with me, that's your problem, right?
Right.
You know, that's not like I don't think they meant it. I don't think they meant it like that. No, that's what the process was meant to, was meant to be.
Yeah,
But I took that and being able to say, hey, my purpose is to bring hope to people by empowering them to take agency.
yeah,
And empowerment, Eric, it's when you take the training wheels off someone's bike
yeah,
and you're holding the back of the seat and you're running with them
yeah.
and you slowly take your hand off. You're still running with
Right. Yep.
them, right? You're still empowering them, but your
Yeah.
hand's not on it, and you let them know,
Yep.
hey, look what you did.
Yeah.
When you get that aha from them,
Oh
it's
man.
like, oh man, that's just the best thing in the world.
Yeah, that aha moment is big, man. And just even when you're shifting in your own life, in your own place, and realizing that there's something bigger out there, or I might be the one holding me back. There's a big piece on that one. But let's
That you
talk a
couldn't
little bit
make it.
about faith at the intersection of your faith at the intersection
Yeah,
book. Let's
yeah,
talk about that. And so is this a book? You being an author, is that something that you said you would do? Or what was the biggest challenge with writing the book, and then what's the basis of the book?
yeah. A friend of mine reminded me, Eric, that I wanted to be a writer, and I wanted to be a public speaker back in high school. Right.
Wow.
You
Okay.
reminded me back in high school that this is what you said you wanted to do. And I got so caught up in life
Yeah.
that I forgot. Well, after
Wow.
leaving Starbucks, you got time to think, you got time to assess, you got all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Wow.
And I had been writing, but I'd put all those writings aside.
Yeah.
Um, and I realized that it
Wow.
was time for me to pull it out and revisit it.
Now I
It's
know
like
why.
you
Now
revisit.
go. I'm
Mhm.
sorry to interrupt you, but I
Yeah.
know now why Dr. Pam said we need to connect. Similar stories.
Yeah.
I sat in the office space talking to a friend of mine who became a mentor, and
Mm.
told him I wanted to become a motivational speaker, and it took me years to make it happen as well. So good connection there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it takes some life though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
To be able to motivate people, then you got to skin your knee a few times, right?
yeah, yeah. And the toughest crowd is your family.
Woo, man, who you telling? Who you telling? Yep, yep,
I was like, if I can't
absolutely.
motivate them, I can't even motivate anybody else.
Right, they're walking out. I just gave them my best stuff. Crickets,
But I
crickets. Like,
interrupted you. Sorry about
no,
that.
it's
But
all
you said
good, man.
your
We're
friend
straight.
reminded you, and
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
had put everything away.
Yeah, I put everything away, and then I had that free time, and I picked it up because I needed it. I was looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out my existence now in this space after hustling for 21 years.
Yeah.
And now I got all this, I got this time,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, well, what am I, why am I here? And I
Right.
realized that I didn't want to work for anybody
I
else,
like it.
and I was like, I'm gonna dive into the book, and the
Yeah.
essence of the book, man, real simply, and it's a book you can run with.
Yeah.
If you do Bible studies and stuff like that, it can go as long as you need it to go because it's a one-stop shop. You pick it up and I'll put everything in it.
Okay.
But it's literally, if you think about Jay-Z's song, "It Was All Good Just a Week Ago."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, when he said that famous line, well, how many times do we go through that in life? It's all good today.
Yeah.
Right. And then a week later, everything is what the hell?
Yeah.
What did I do? And it's not because we did anything.
Yeah. Right. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And sometimes you seen it coming, but you didn't act on it.
You didn't act. Oh, it's not gonna be much, right?
Yeah.
And in each one of the 12 pathways, it's about different places in life or that I experienced in life where, man, I just got broadsided.
Yeah.
And it was about me trying to come back from these things where I thought I was doing everything right. And I realized it wasn't that I wasn't.
Yeah.
It was about how can I change my mindset? What is God trying to teach me in this moment where I thought I had it all figured out?
Yeah.
And what is he trying to teach me about myself? Right?
Right.
Not the person that did something to me, right? Because they got some of those in there, but what does he teach me about myself in these places of learning how to react, learning how to lead,
Yeah.
learning how to be a dad, learning how to bring people, to a certain place. Um, and that was kind of the book. I said, I have to share this because if
Yeah.
everybody's hitting these places and they think that that's the end of the road, no,
Yeah.
this is something that's happening for you. It's not
Right.
happening to you. And that's that mind shift, Derek, that we
Mhm.
talk about, right?
Yeah.
It changes on a dime when you realize, oh, this is happening for me.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like it. I don't want to eat the peas, but at least let me slow down and try to figure this out.
Right. Yeah. That's a big one, right? Because it's so quick to play the victim. Oh my gosh, look at what happened to me. Oh my gosh, I guess my neighbor, my friends, everybody was right. I wasn't supposed to be here. Oh my gosh. But when you
Right.
flip it and go, all right, so maybe it was time for me to leave. Maybe that feeling of I should go look for a new job meant something to me, right?
Right.
Or maybe when they were telling me that they were changing the requirements and that I need to go get these certificates or certifications, I should have done that so that I could set myself up,
That's
right?
right.
For
That's
this
right. I
moment.
should have fallen. Yeah, I should have fallen into that leaning that I had. Right. What was that nagging thing
Yeah.
in the back of my mind, or what was that feeling of having a win when the job wasn't over? So when I did
Right.
all in, I knew that I wasn't gonna be leading it anymore because I experienced the feeling that I
Hmm.
had when God gave me the vision.
Yeah.
Right. And that was like a year earlier. So I knew when I experienced that feeling, it was like, oh, something's gonna change.
Yeah.
You know?
Time to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something's gonna change. It's time to go. I've done
Yeah.
what I was sent for.
Yeah.
At least in this space.
Yeah, I think that so many times, and that's a great lesson to learn is when you're searching for comfort, you'll soon be uncomfortable, right? You'll soon find
It
yourself
doesn't last long,
uncomfortable,
right? Yeah, it doesn't
right?
last long, does it, Eric? It's like,
No, man.
golly, this
Oh,
shucks,
it's
this
the
was
most
hard.
money I've ever made. It's the greatest company. Oh my gosh, they take care of the people and everything else. Next thing
Yeah.
you know, you're the first one that got to go. I spent 352 days in a layoff. I understand this whole piece now.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
get it, right? And I
yeah,
get it. And it was for me to help someone else, right?
yeah.
Because obviously you're a man of purpose. I can tell by the impact that you make.
Thank you.
And you start realizing that, yeah, this happened to me, but how can I help someone else
Yeah,
that's
that's
going
it.
through it? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the big one. He's like, I can't lead you. I can't make you make the decision to move. I can tell you what you may be experiencing. I can tell you that something's digging in your spirit. That's why you keep coming and saying, "Hey, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that?" You're curious. Follow that curiosity. You never know where it can take you. So
Right.
let talk to me a little bit about and if I say this wrong, please, Velora. Velora, where'd that name come from?
Yeah.
And talk to me about Velora.
Yeah. So, and Pam also told me too, right? I recognize I'm from South Louisiana. People may not realize it on first blush, but if you listen to me long enough or put me around my people, you'll start hearing some split verbs and a little twang. So, so the name of the name of my of the LLC was L Peace, right? And L Peace,
LPs?
yeah. L Peace is a Greek word that
Okay.
stands for the confident expectation of good, or for me, the confident expectation of God's goodness was El Peace. Well,
I like it.
I couldn't get the I couldn't get a patent for it, right?
Okay.
A copyright for it. Somebody was using it, which much to my consternation, I thought I had something cool.
Right.
It was so cool.
That's a great
Everybody else,
idea.
yeah, somebody else had. So I started researching. The name Velora came up,
Okay.
and Velora is it's it's like the spirit, so it's courage, it's
Okay.
aura, right?
Mm,
So if you think about the confident expectation of good and you want to do good, then what's the minutia in the middle that gets you there, right?
mm,
What's that whisper, what's that unseen thing, right? And
yeah.
that's the aura of Valora. We want to help,
The aura
you
of Velora.
tap into that thing that you have,
Yeah.
that you were given to, and that's what gets you to the next place. It's not always the hard coded thing that
Right.
you've seen your whole life, but
Right.
what is that whisper, that air, that thing inside of you that you haven't tapped into yet, right?
Yeah.
What is it when I help you recognize what your gifts are? And
Right.
I don't mean like what they tell you in church. I got the gift of helps. Man, helps ain't getting you help you get a job. I don't know what that is. The gift of helps. I never seen anybody serve that was
Gift that
happy most of
helps.
the time
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah,
What is
but
the gift?
yeah. What is it?
It's
Help what?
G14 classifieds. It's the
That's
gift that helps. Well, what is
yeah,
it? It's the
yeah,
help.
yeah. It helps. Yeah, man. They didn't help you when they told you that, right? So what is it when you go back to Gallup strengths, right? And you fill it out, and you look at all these spaces that you've been operating in your entire life, but you couldn't name it.
Yeah.
Well, if you couldn't name it, then that meant that you were hitting onto it by luck.
Yeah.
Right. So what when I help you name it and look back at where that has made you successful, how that has helped you move.
Yeah.
And now we want to state your purpose now.
Yeah.
Let's do the real purpose work, right? And the purpose is not a goal,
Right.
right? Your purpose is not to make a lot of money. That's not what a purpose is, right? Your
Right.
purpose is what you do for other people, no matter what else is going on,
Yes.
right? And once we get people to articulate that, now they're empowered.
Yeah.
Right now they're
'Cause
empowered.
that's what you're looking for. You like, why am I here? That's what you're here to
Yeah,
do. You have
yeah,
a skill set that you do. There's something you do great. People come to you for it a lot. You operate in it all the time, and you don't even identify it as a skill.
right. Because you weren't taught, right?
Yeah.
We weren't taught to notice. We were
Yeah.
just taught to do,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
This system doesn't want us to notice, especially people of color. Don't notice
Right.
that you're a spiritual people.
Right.
Don't notice that you're a happy people, because we're always putting negative stuff on the news.
Yeah.
Don't notice, right, the power of a Black woman who can do a billion and one things and still show up in
Right.
different ways, right?
Right.
And be fantastic and hit all the home runs. Excuse me,
Right.
1 minute.
You're good. So
Hit all the home runs, right?
yeah. So when we talk about Velora and we talk about um Velora and what you do. So I heard you take what is it sound like I won't say a 360, but it's a personal assessment, right?
Yeah,
Self-assessment or personality style assessment, behavior assessment, one of those.
yeah.
'Cause I think Strength Finder is all about was it 37 genes and how you operate, right? Something in there.
Yeah.
And
So we start there, right? So where we begin is really the frequency work. So we talk about resonance.
okay,
So when I say resonance, what is your frequency? Where are you out of line in the four domains that we talked about, right?
right.
So that's usually where your misalignment starts.
Hmm.
And then we go to your identity blueprint. Your
Okay.
identity blueprint, that's kind of that work of recognizing what your true gifts, what your true skills are, right? That you've been using this entire time.
Yeah.
And let's articulate what your purpose is, right?
Mhm.
Let's understand your purpose is for other people. And your purpose for other people, you can do that inside of any container,
Right.
right? No matter what your role is, you can still do it while you're climbing, right?
Right.
Even if you're an
Right.
individual contributor, you can still do all those things.
Right.
And then after you go through that piece of it, the third is becoming, right? And I'm sure, Eric, you've been through it. I've been through it, where you recognize that I'm this new person, and you know that there is something there that you're moving or that you're living into in this becoming space,
Yeah.
right? So now, how do you have the courage to be who you know you are for
Mm.
the first time after people had told you that you were someone else,
Right. How you
right? You
walk
know
into
how
that and
yeah.
live in it, right?
Yeah, now
Yeah.
you got to live in it. Once you know, you can't unknow, right?
Right. Yeah.
So how do you live in? And then you go from then you move from becoming into the into the space of integration. So
Okay.
how do I integrate that outside of myself, right? How do
Right.
I integrate this into the domains of my life, right? If I
Right.
have 5 personas in the roles that I have, how do I integrate this as a dad? How do I integrate this as a leader and
Yeah.
still remain who I am?
Right.
And then the momentum is, now that I'm really feeling it,
Hmm.
now that I know, like I know, how do I
Yeah.
bring other people along?
There we
How do
go.
I empower? How do I
Influence
change the
piece.
room?
Yeah.
Right? How do I change the room when I walk in?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where the real magic, right? That's when you start changing the world.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
even I think I interviewed someone from my TV show, The Momentum Shift, a week ago. And what I like was she said sometimes you just have to create the room you want. And
yeah,
that's a big piece. How do I boldly stand up and create the room I want? Because that's again, what she mentioned is you don't always get the opportunity. You have to create the opportunity you want.
that's
So
right.
that's a big
That's
one.
right.
What you talk about? How do you change the room? How do I influence the room? How do I create a room when there's no door opening up for me? Right?
That's right. Where do I find the space
Yeah,
to sacrifice or to do the extra thing?
yeah. I say
Right? A
set
lot of people
yourself
don't
on
want to do the
fire,
extra.
and many people come to watch you burn.
That's right. Absolutely right. There are
Yeah,
many times where I jumped out and said I'll do it.
yeah,
Right. Well,
yep,
yeah, I knew it was going to take extra time. I knew it was going to be those things. But if I wanted to get to X,
yeah,
right, then I had to be willing to put myself out there to get to X. If they wasn't going to choose me first, then I'll
right.
be doggone sure that I'll be the last one standing. You know what it's
Exactly.
like?
I'm gonna outdo everything. I'm just
Oh,
be here.
yeah. Look, I'm gonna do it. You gonna know, right?
Yeah,
You know, you
right.
gonna know when it's all said when it's all said and
So
done.
this is a marathon. You out here sprinting. I'll be here when you get done.
I'll be here because I see things different, right?
Exactly, man.
I've taken a different path, and
Yeah,
there are things that because of your life experiences,
yeah,
and because of your desires for other people. And when you got
yeah.
desires for other people, then the rest of it comes along.
Yeah, I think it's too. A big piece is being able to adapt and adjust on the fly. I always say sometimes you got to put the plane together while you're flying. You don't
Yeah,
always have the answers. You have no idea what about the research or anything else. In your gut, you feel like I got to take this step to see what's going to happen. You got to take the
yeah,
shot, and so you
yeah,
just got to step out there. Where many people would sit there and even in the past, I would do it paralysis analysis through paralysis or paralysis through analysis, right?
yeah.
Well, I don't have this. I need this. A few more of this and that, and I'll be ready to go. Well, when this gets right, I'll be ready to go. I need a little bit more information, a little bit more people, and you'd be still sitting there 5 years afterward.
Yeah, and somebody that's sprinting on their head, right? It's like, oh, I can't believe if I'd have led with that idea like I
Yeah,
started, right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So you just
Mhm,
have to go ahead and make the move. So I like to say one of the big things, you sound like you like to connect as well. I
mhm.
I think life as a puzzle, and that piece where I'm connecting with me and first, so it allows me to help connect with others. I think that is a huge piece, and I think that's where what you're talking about there with building, like I said, building within and then starting to connect outside. I like it. Now, is that your Pathfinder program method, or is
Yeah.
that something the Pathfinder method something totally different?
No. That's exactly the Pathfinder method. So
Okay.
if you would look at faith at the intersection as a formation,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is the noticing of, hey, these things happen, right? And then Pathfinder method is the application, right? So now I notice these things. what are the steps that I can move from noticing to becoming, right? To bringing people along. So
Yeah.
it's a step-by-step program that I built after reading the book and said, okay, it's all cool, this part.
Okay.
But how does this work for people? So most coaches and most consultants, they lead by working on the system.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer. I don't care how many systems you got. If your people are broken, then you're gonna continue to change our systems, because that means something's going on with your culture.
Right.
Right. If you keep breaking people, then it don't matter how many times you change the system. That's why I'm not big on systems coaches, right? When somebody say I'm a systems coach, all that tells me is that you're letting a lot of good talent pass by,
Right.
right? Because you're not like your boy from Pittsburgh, right? It's a coach. You got
Coach, yes.
yeah, you got to coach people up,
Yeah, you do. And that's people are afraid to coach people up because that's a big one. I think you got to look at people for who they are and where they're at to help them build up. Because I mean, the potential that people have, you don't know. You have no clue of what somebody can accomplish. But if you connect with them and learn and what it is that they value and what they're looking for in life, man, you can help get them on the path and you can just watch them fly,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And Eric, isn't that the engagement piece that people miss out on, right?
Yeah.
You can tell good leaders,
Yeah.
right? Good leaders are going to engage with everyone beyond just the hi, how you doing,
Right.
right? They're going to want to
Yeah.
know some things, right? They're going to remember something. They're often going
Yeah.
to be the one talking to everyone else except the other leaders when everybody's in the room,
Right.
right?
So many
Because they
they
want
get
to.
caught up with the degrees and the letters behind the names and everything else. I'm like, you're missing the piece where this person here is talking to the organization. This person here is motivating and inspiring other people, where your person who's put the checks in the boxes is just sitting in the office and not talking to them at all. I think that's the worst thing you could ever do, is put somebody in the office that doesn't talk to your team and doesn't connect with them at all.
Yeah, yeah, and not only that, they're the person that senior leader listens to,
Hmm.
and that's where cultures get broken,
Yeah.
right? Cultures get broken because they listen to a voice that's familiar to them,
Right.
right? But the character of that voice has something that's lacking.
Yeah.
Has something that's lacking.
Yeah. We're gonna move off of that one. We won't go deep into that one.
Look, when you and I, look, the time that you spend in the military in different places, man, look,
I tell
it's easy
people,
to tell character,
yeah, you see it, man. You can tell those people who are tap dancing for what to say, tap dancing for the promotion, and those people are just putting in the work and doing what they're supposed to do, and just being authentic with how they operate. So,
Yeah.
so talk to me a little bit about, like, you have any daily routines that you
Yeah.
wake up and operate in? I talk about these because our habits and behaviors, you've already covered a lot of it. Our habits
Mhm.
and behaviors can keep us stuck. And so not finding time for ourselves to get us motivated, not finding time to identify where we want to go in life can keep us stuck. What are some of the habits and behaviors that you incorporate on a daily basis, or routines that you incorporate to keep you going? Sometimes it's a month.
Yeah. For me, man, it's meditation.
Okay.
It's meditation, and even that can become routine. And
Yeah.
when that comes routine, how do you break that up?
Gotcha.
So I was literally in the house for about literally a year,
Yeah.
right? I stayed here. I come into my home office, right?
Yeah.
And I do what I do. And right down the street we have what's called the Arboretum, right? It's like a garden. It's an LSU sponsored garden with lakes, and it's about as beautiful as you ever wanted to see.
Okay.
Man, 5-minute walk. I
Right.
didn't go,
Oh,
right?
wow.
I just didn't.
Yeah.
But finally, I got pulled out of staying in, and I walked out there, and that's where I do my meditations now,
Nice. I like it.
because it's no longer, it stopped being the routine of, let me sit at my desk, let me light my candle, let
Yeah.
let me put the music on, right?
Right.
It's like, nah, it's time to change something in the routine. So meditation every day.
I like it.
The church group that I'm with, um we're on probably somewhere close to 1,300 mornings
Okay.
straight a Bible study,
Wow.
where we meet at 6, and it's 35 brothers.
Okay.
right? We get up and we jump on every morning for this Bible study that we do from 6 to 7 every day, and
Nice.
being with that band of brothers, right? As we talk and discuss everything, as well as eating the word, it lets you know that you're not alone in the things that you do. The
Right.
worst thing you can do is isolate yourself
Yes.
in time, and when times are tough.
I
You
agree
you
with you.
need, that's when you start listening to that voice in the back of your mind that makes no sense,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my goodness. The
Yeah,
mental
yeah.
quicksand fills up
Woo, I
quick.
love that. Yeah. Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
man, it'll sink you, right? Because
Yeah.
using that voice, you hadn't done anything right. And meanwhile, your whole life you got a history, like I
Yeah.
said, of hitting home runs. And
Yeah.
just because you might have whiffed on something or you're at an intersection, that doesn't mean that you can't do that anymore. That
Yeah.
just means it's time for you to stop and think differently, or maybe times have changed. You
Right.
do that a little differently. So
Right.
those things are important. And once a year, and I didn't plan on doing it, but it just kind of happens. Sometimes you got to blow things up.
I
If
like
they're
it.
not working, you
I
got to
like
you
it.
blow them up. When
I
I was in
like
sales,
it.
and I went back and I took a look at my movers and the ones that didn't move, right? Because I'm a
Yeah.
relationship guy. I'd go
Yeah.
and blow up the relationship because apparently the relationship wasn't working for me.
What work out like that?
Yeah.
I'm reminded of I'm reminded of, what was it, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan when he blew up the when he told the boss he had to blow something up.
Yeah.
The LA Police Department, they had to blow stuff up.
That's right. That's right. That's right, man. That's right. And
Yeah.
sometimes those things happen because that's where we get stuck, Eric.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
get comfortable and it's like, I don't want to mess this up. Well,
Yeah.
a relationship is only as good as what each person is getting out of it,
There we go.
especially in a business sense,
Yeah.
right? Look, I'm not trying to beat anybody to death.
Right.
I'm great on fair,
Yeah.
right? What's fair, but when it's not working,
Hey, like you said, we got to blow it up.
blow it up. I bet it's gonna work now because apparently I'm not the only one feeling like I'm
Right.
losing.
Sometimes the mama eagle just got to kick him out the nest. Got to go. Got to
You
go.
gotta go.
I
Yes,
talk to you. I holla.
yeah, that's
So
right.
talk to me a little bit about what you're now speaking. You go and speak at conferences, right? You hold workshops,
Mhm.
and
Yes,
so
yeah.
your leadership development, and what can we expect at one of your events?
Well, one, I'm still growing my business. I'm less than a year on the incorporation, right?
Okay.
So what this year has been was really getting people to know who I am
Okay.
and what I won't say what I'm bringing to the table, what I'm offering to other people for them in this season.
Yeah.
So if people show up to something I'm having, one thing you can expect to laugh.
Okay.
Right,
I
because
love it.
we're gonna have some self-deprecating humor, right? We're not gonna take life so serious to
Right.
where we can't laugh a little bit, but you're also gonna get some truth,
Yeah.
right? And some honesty and some hope. So the same things that I've always wanted, right, was hope, empowerment, and agency. That's what you're gonna get when I show up. I'm
Yeah.
from South Louisiana. I never saw a conversation I didn't like. So we gonna talk a little bit, we're gonna laugh a little bit, but we're gonna sit in some honesty and some truth. And I'm gonna give you some steps,
Right.
that you can have if you so choose, right?
Right. Yeah.
To take them, but I'm not just gonna run you hot and walk away.
Yeah.
Right. I can't stand when people do that, right? Or I'm gonna get you all excited. I'm just gonna leave you there excited. Well, what the hell is it supposed to do with that?
Right. Yeah. I want you, when you leave here, I want you to be able to walk away and start making some changes. That's it.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Impact. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to impact something. Your
Yeah.
life, somebody else's life. Right. I
Right.
want you to feel good about what we
Oh,
talked about, a little inspired, and
nothing
then
worse
go
than
make a
coming to a
change.
conference, coming to an event, and they get you right to right there, right there. And then they go, woo, drop you back down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Now,
I'm like,
now
why
for
I do it?
$39.99,
They go straight, yeah, they go straight into the sale, right? Oh man. Eric, I gotta tell you, bro, that's been one of the things I've had to learn in this entrepreneur thing, right?
yeah,
Where, it's like we're having a conversation and then it's like, well, I have this package.
yeah.
It's like, oh, me too.
Yeah. And I get it,
Yeah, I
I
get
get
it.
it.
It
But
is, man.
it's just like you said, it's just one of the things that just each of my crawl is that I want people to be able to have the ability to create a shift when there's no coach around. When that
Yeah,
mental quicksand starts flowing, they got something they can go to. And that's
yeah.
why I created my book, man. I'm like, I wanted to give them something that's going to give them opportunity to create a shift until they can find somebody that they can connect with and move.
Yeah.
So
What
yeah,
was the driver for you, Eric? What made you want to, I won't say give it away, right? But hit people on
yeah.
to this thing that you couldn't keep no more.
Man, for me, it was three questions. What was I doing at the time? What I had done at the five years prior, and then what did I think life was going to be like if I kept doing the same thing? And so I know there are people out there who are like myself who are operating without a vision. They're not dreaming, and they don't believe they have what it takes to be able to create the life that they want to live. And in that, they don't realize that they're passing that on to their family members, their kids, their wife, and they're setting everybody up for failure down the line. So I didn't want to continue on that path. And so
Mm.
I knew that I needed to make a shift. And I learned quickly that just because I was shifting, everybody else wasn't going to shift. But I knew just something in me said that something in me said, hey, you know what? Just keep moving, do what you do. Eventually they'll pick up on it and see what happens. And it has. And so that's the piece for me that shows that you get in the process and sooner or later people will start coming along. And that's the big piece. So
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. Cool.
I want to see people win. That's it.
That's all, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, right, when people look at you, look at that dash.
Yeah.
When they look at that dash,
Yeah.
they're either gonna celebrate
Right.
the life you lived,
Uh-huh.
or they're not gonna miss it.
Right. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. Ooh. That's big. Yeah, it is. It is, man.
Yeah.
So where do you see Velora heading in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see people um that are empowered, I should say. I
Yeah.
see the Pathfinder method as something that has been adapted.
Okay.
And actually, be honest with you, I see Velora as one of the companies or one of the names that people begin to gravitate to in all the different marketplaces,
Yeah.
right? From the coaching space
Right.
to the spiritual space, right? To the leadership space,
Gotcha.
right? As when they see that brand, they know that it makes that there's an opportunity to make change.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity for empowerment.
Yeah.
And for people that look like us, Eric, I just want them to know that our better days are ahead of us.
Oh, yes. Say that one
You
more
know,
time.
that our better days are ahead of us, brother.
Yes,
This
sir.
is all I see is opportunity in what's going on right now, in
That's
the
what I said.
disruption. Yeah, there's
Yeah, yeah.
opportunity in the disruption, man.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, the distraction comes to pull you off of your game,
Off your square. That's
right?
right.
Pull you off your square, right? Always like Nehemiah 6:3. I'm on a great project and I cannot come down. So all
Whew.
this stuff that's going on right now, let it happen. But I'm gonna focus on my game because I know when we come out on the other side of this tunnel, boom, I'm moving forward. I'm exploding.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
exploding. And that's the vision right there. I'm like, you do everything. I'm not gonna get caught up in all that news and all the other stuff they got going on. That's
Mhm.
that's not my world. My
That's right.
job is to find out how I can do what I do, help people succeed, create a momentum shift, and live the life they want to live, and build up on that as we move forward. So that's a big
Whew.
piece for me.
Yeah, bro. I
Yeah.
love, I love, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Stay away from the noise. They can have the noise, right? The noise is just information.
Exactly.
That's all it is. It's information. It's not even direction for me.
Yeah.
That's just information. All right, okay. I know what's happening. I've seen this. You
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. Yeah. If I get you focused on all this over here, you don't see what's happening over here, or you forget
Yeah.
about what's going on over here, or whatever it is you're supposed to do. And now I'm that many more steps ahead of you, and you're way back here. I heard it the best during the COVID shutdown. They said when everybody's compacting, your job is to extract, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Expand. I'm sorry, expand.
Expand. Yeah.
Everybody's contracting, you should be expanding. And
Yeah.
that's a big piece, man. I like to keep that going.
Yeah. What was it like that for you during COVID? Did you look at COVID as, was that the transformational time?
It was
You
a
know?
huge expansion time for me. At
Mhm.
COVID, so I'm 57. I worked pretty
Okay.
much 2, 3 jobs
Same.
all my life, even when I was in the military. And
Hmm.
so at the time, I was working 2 jobs. So it was cool that one shut down, and I only had the one to worry about, and then that one kind of just changed game too. So I got a chance to spend more time working on myself, doing those things that I always said I didn't have time. So that speaking, I expanded more into speaking and
Hmm.
learning. I mean, honing my craft and taking advantage of opportunities that I wasn't getting before. So
Yeah.
that was an expansion time for me, and I'm just trying to keep that momentum rolling.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to find a new way every time. Here I am. When I went into it, I'm not an author. I'm learning speaking. Now I'm speaking. Now I'm an author, and now podcast and TV show host. It's just what's next. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it
Yeah.
moving. So that's the
Yeah.
vision. So
Yeah. Well, what you just did was define the inner led and outer activated,
there we go.
right? That
Yeah,
that what you just spoke to, that's being inner led and outer activated with
got
the
you.
little things that you did, right? Say, hey, I got to do this in this time, right?
Yeah,
And next thing you know, there's expansion
yeah,
because you did the inside work, right?
right.
You led from what was in here to
Yeah,
help yourself change, to help yourself grow, to see that thing that you knew on the horizon, man, this is coming. If I do these things,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was I looked at it as one of the biggest opportunities we would never get again.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was
Everything
true.
shut
Yeah.
down and work on myself. So yeah.
Mhm.
So Troy, is there anything that you want to share with the audience before we go? I know we said it was a discovery call, man, but I just like I haven't gotten this discovery call thing down yet. It's new. Normally I just do the interviews, and so it's just kind
Uh,
of I just enjoy talking to people, man. And when I get them
yeah.
on here, man, I just start asking questions. It just turns into an interview. The last 3 have turned into interviews. It's just like
Uh,
one day I'll get it down, but it's okay. But Troy, he's like,
well,
I thought we were just doing a discovery call, Eric. But
yeah. Well, here's what's funny, Eric. So we have what's called a discovery call, right? With Velora, you go on, right?
yeah,
You take the Pathfinder assessment to see where your scores are, and then you book a discovery call. Well, I'm like you at the discovery call,
yeah,
right? It's supposed to last 30 minutes. I'm talking an hour and 15 minutes, And the person I work with, like, sure, that's not what it's meant to be. But
right,
no, that's what evolved into. I'm curious. I
right,
need to know all the stuff about them. What's
right.
going on. It's fascinating. So, same
Maybe I'm
same
not the right person to do discovery.
right, right. I don't know a script to a discovery call because I'm gonna keep following. I just want to know
Right.
what's up.
Yeah,
That's why I
because
just do it.
I'll probably get off and go, I just want to know a little bit more
Yeah, right, right. Well,
tonight.
that's why you had the podcast after that, right? It's like,
There
oh,
we
these are the
go.
other questions, right? These are the
Yeah.
other questions.
So,
Uh,
so is there anything you'd like to leave the audience with before we shut it down?
Amen. Yeah. I, here's one thing. Um, we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity because it's our turn to make a difference in this world. We're up to bat. We're literally up to bat. Uh, I think that what happened to the 300,000 Black women out there, I really believe that it was God's purpose, so that now they could focus on themselves.
Hmm.
Right? Can can we get our sisters to do the identity work
Right.
and tie your identity to purpose? I'm not saying don't go make money. I'm not saying don't get the check, right? But
Right.
I'm talking about feeling like Drake, right? I spent months in the corner, with knives in my back, right? Just me and
Yeah.
my back, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have double tap, right? I want
Right.
them to feel that way
Yeah.
once they recognize that the best is ahead of them because they never tapped what was inside. Yeah, they
Yeah.
tapped on the strength to move forward. But now let's tap on what your purpose is.
Yeah.
And once you start focusing on your purpose with all your skills and all your gifts,
Hmm.
man, and people should have left us sleep.
Because ain't nobody stop you. Ain't nobody
Yeah,
stop you. Hey,
that's it.
you be like the Usain Bolt.
That's it.
Leave them in the tracks.
That's right.
Well,
That's
Troy,
right.
man, thank you for joining me, man,
Thank
on this
you,
discovery call that is now an interview forever.
man.
Hey,
It's now
man,
in the
you,
books, man. Thank
yes,
you.
sir. Yeah, you truly are momentum shifter. I'm glad we finally connected and got this going. Your story, man, is big. And I know we just touched on a small piece of it, but I wanted to be able to share what it is you're doing and how you're creating shifts and how you're helping organizations do the same. And I wish you much success.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Y'all can find me at troyjamesspeaks.com, man. Anything of troyjamesspeaks.com, or get my book
There
on
we go.
Amazon, man. Faith at the
There we go.
Intersections. Appreciate it.
Tell them the name of it again.
Faith at the Intersections, 12 Pathways to Navigating Life with Courage, Clarity, and Christ, right at Amazon. Go get it.
Go get it. There we go. And thank you, sir. And like I said, much success. I wish you continued success. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
me. And there you
All
have
right.
it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for the Momentum Shift, the podcast and radio show that helps you rise up, rebuild, and redefine what's possible for you. Until next time, always keep pushing because nobody's going to do it for you. Take care.